get back to the market. Jai Bala from cashthechaos.com joins us on the show. Hi, Jai. Good afternoon. Good to see you win. You're feeling good about the markets and you believe the top player, that's Reliance Industries, the big boy, is going to come out and bat for the Bulls. Tell us more.
That's right, Nigel. Good to be here. The breakout zone for Reliance Industries is at about 1526 to 1538. And if the stock were to close above 1526, it will be the highest close since 22nd of July 2024. And the only thing that stands ahead of Reliance is possibly the all-time high, about 1600 odds. So, the big boy, and it is a barometer of the Indian market and the Indian economy. So that's telling us that, a breakout is ahead, and possibly that could lead to bigger moves on the Nifty, possibly an acceleration. And as a small tidbit, Nigel, the president of the United States, considered the powerful man in the world, disowned their own stock market, saying that it was a previous president's stock market. And the record highs are upon us for the US markets. If you don't know where the trend is and what the trend is, you can get left out.
And what's the broad expectation in the near and medium term about the Nifty and Nifty Bank?
Hi, Rima. I'm anticipating and maintaining the price objective of 29,000 for the Nifty from a 6 to 12 months perspective. I think it's going to be a straight acceleration of the next 1,000 points. But there's a small possibility that we could have a pullback first before the markets get higher. But in either case, the Nifty is heading for 29,000, in my opinion. And the Bank Nifty is a shade, weak. But today, it's actually slightly leading the markets a bit. If SBI were to have a breakout above 835, 837, that will bring the PSU bank, which have been laggard, into action. And then once again, SBI could be the trigger for the private sector banks to also rally in sympathy. So the objective I have for the banking index is about 59,000, and it's slightly lower than the objective that I'm projecting for the Nifty. But let's keep it conservative for the moment.
Okay, so 29,000 on the Nifty and 59,000 on the Nifty Bank, right?
That's correct.
Got that.
Okay, all right, Jai, we will need to take a short break, but I think you've got 2 stock calls for us. So give us that and then we'll take that break.
Yeah, Siemens is a short-term call. It's not a medium-term call, and so. But since I've been bullish on the capital goods sector for some time, I continue to be bullish, and this is a stock that's playing catch-up with the rest of the sector. A stop loss of 30.80. Possible objective is about 37.50. It could be higher, but because this is a slightly weaker stock within the capital goods space, I'm having a lower objective of 37.50. The next stock is Bank of Baroda, and I mentioned Bank of Baroda and PNB last week, and they're showing positive price action. Yesterday, it showed some life, and possibly this is heading to somewhere close to 275. Stop loss below the June low of 230 is a necessity for this particular stock.
Stay on. Need to get into a short break before we wrap out today's trading session. But
Conversation with Jai Bala. Jai, any other asset class you want to give us a couple of levels on? Maybe gold, dollar index?
Yeah, dollar index is coming to a long-term support about 96.5 to 95.5, and it's nearing an exhaustion point. So possibly a very short-term up and down sequence is pending for it. Post that, we're likely to see a pullback for the dollar. And I didn't expect the dollar to come to 96.5 in this cycle itself, but it has come here. But the fact is 96.5 and 95.5 is a very long-term support from the financial crisis low. When it comes to the U.S. equity markets, since the financial crisis low of 2009, July months have never had the last 10 years of July hasn't had a negative July for the S&P 500. And since the financial crisis low, there have been just 2 negative Julys, which have been 2011 and 2014. So with markets at record highs, we are at a very important seasonality backing the U.S. markets. When it comes to precious metals, the outperformance of silver, in my opinion, has come to an end. So we are likely to see a correction. And gold came very close to an important support at 35.45. It came to 35.47 on the London fixing. If it breaks 35.45, it will confirm that both gold and silver will correct significantly. But there is a small possibility if the 32.45 doesn't break, gold could retest the all-time high at about 3,500 and come back to do the correction that I'm projecting. So
right, Jai.
32.45 very important.
So, Jay, your gold and silver, you're not ruling out a 20% correction from here. Is that correct?
That's right. Very, very important that gold London fixing should break 32.45. It came to 32.47. Basically, right now it's saying that it's holding the support, but I'm more confident about silver. Silver is on a corrective decline to somewhere close to $28.
Okay, got that. So both of them, there's possibly could be a decline, but 32.50 is the important mark on gold, right?
That's right. 32.45 to be more precise.
32.45. Got
What
it.
about dollar index? That's seen quite a slump, 11% down in the first half of the year, and it's the biggest first half loss since 1973, data tells us.
Yeah. It's in a very long-term price fluctuation, and if you draw a parallel price channel from the 2008 low, that will hit 96.5, 95.5. So we have a very movement that's synchronous, movement that is also coming in line with the price channel support at 95.5. So it's having a very, very significant support at 95.5. Unlikely to break in the near term. We are likely to see a short-term bump up to about 104 for the US dollars, say somewhere about 4 to 6 weeks time frame, or slightly longer than that, 4 to 8 weeks.
Anything in the paint complex? Fundamentally, some people believe, analysts are pointing out that they've gone through a long period of correction. Valuations are below subpar, so upgrades are coming through for the likes of Asian Paints, etc. Technically, are you seeing anything supportive in the charts?
Within Asian paint space, Asian Paints and Budget Paints, I like Budget Paints. That's relatively stronger compared to Asian Paints. It's had a good run already. So I wouldn't be too bullish on both these names, but if you have to play and if you make a single pick from here, I would say Budget Paints is a candidate out here because but it's already an outperform from its 2025 low. So Asian Paints could play a catch up, but from a price structure point, I would say you should be allocating more towards budget rather than Asian Paints.
And sometimes, the price tells you the story, right, before the story. So now we're entering into the earnings season with IT. What are the charts telling you? What kind of an earnings season will it be for the tech companies this time?
Yeah, I think it's a very important crossroad of the Nifty IT index. As long as the index can hold 36,000, I think bullish prospects have a higher potential. I treated the recent bounce to about 40,000 as a corrective bounce. And we have been anticipating that for several weeks now. But right now, as price action suggests, there's a good possibility that it might hold 36,000 and rally past 40,000. The key for that is possibly TCS. TCS crossing 3550 is going to be very important for the IT sector. But from a relative ranking space, I would rate Tech Mahindra, Coforge, Persistent as higher candidates, stronger candidates compared to TCS and Infosys and HCL Tech.
Got it.